Good morning, everyone. This is Belinda with Lesson 8 of A Course in Miracles. My mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. The ideas from this summary that stand out for me are the purpose of the exercises for today is to begin to train your mind to recognize when it is not really thinking at all. Recognize when it is not really thinking at all. That kind of stood out. It took me, I think, a couple lessons before that kicked in, because you know how they take one idea, they change the statement a little bit, and then you're on that same idea just in a different form for about 3 or 4 days. So yesterday was I see only the past. Today is my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. So then the next statement says, while thoughtless ideas preoccupy your mind, the truth is blocked. Recognizing that your mind has been merely blank rather than believing that it is filled with real ideas. So this is where I was getting caught up. Real ideas. I am thinking that I am not good enough. I'm not young enough, pretty enough for a man to be interested in me, right? So those are some of the ideas that come into my head. I know they're silly, but they do. And I'm not the only one that has these, but I'm defending myself because I'm a little embarrassed to bring that up. But I do. I feel I'm not young enough, pretty enough, whatever enough for a man to be interested in me. And so I think these are real ideas, but they're not. When I'm thinking those thoughts, they're blocking the truth. They're blocking the reality, the realness of what my mind is capable of doing. And this is the first step to opening the way to vision. See, I thought that if my mind was thinking, then I was being productive. But that's not the case. And in fact, it says here that when your mind, let's see if it's in Lesson 8, when your mind is thinking all these thoughts that come from the past, or that, and most of them do, that your mind is really blank. Okay, so if the mind is really blank when I'm thinking that, or worrying about what I'm going to cook for dinner, or worrying about that, or thinking about and if you've ever sat to meditate, you know how random and frequent these thoughts that just pop into your head. Well, that is not your mind. That's very interesting. Okay. So today's exercises should be done with our eyes closed. This is because you actually cannot see anything, and it is easier to recognize that no matter how vividly you may picture a thought, you are not seeing anything. With as little investment as possible, search your mind for see, I always forget that. As little investment as possible. That's important. Not to try so hard, not to push so hard. Just let things come, and that's when it's more gentle. This process is more gentle. It's not as scary. It's loving to ourselves. Don't do what I've done and just push really hard, because that makes this really traumatic. It makes you shut down and fall back into fear. Okay. With as little investment as possible, search your mind for the usual minute or so, noting the thoughts that you find there. Name each one by the central figure or theme that it contains. So, and introduce the practice period by saying, I seem to be thinking about my finances. I seem to be thinking about how I'm going to pay that bill. I seem to be thinking about how I'm going to lose this extra weight. And, the usual stuff that we all think about. I seem to be thinking about a person, or about an object, or I seem to be thinking about an emotion. And then remind yourself that your mind is just being preoccupied with past thoughts. Now, I still follow these exercises up with a positive statement. I allow myself to go through this process gently and lovingly. I allow myself to see the people around me with loving heart and compassion. I seem to be thinking these thoughts about so-and-so, but I choose to send them love. I choose to receive all that they have for me. Things like that. So this concludes lesson 8. Good luck with your process. And I'll see you for lesson 9. Have a wonderful day.